Vinayaka, Vinayaka, Vishwadhara Vinayaka, Anath Rakshak, Ananddayak, Anath Rakshak, Ananddayak, Uma Maheshwar, He Priyanandan, Vinayaka, Vinayaka, Vishwadhara Vinayaka, Vinayaka, Vinayaka. Govinda Krishna Vitthale, Jai Gopal Krishna Vitthale, Govinda Krishna Vitthale, Jai Gopal Krishna Vitthale, Rang Rang Vitthale, Jai Pandurang Vitthale, Rang Rang Vitthale, Jai Pandurang Vitthale, Govinda Krishna Vitthale, Jai Gopal Krishna Vitthale, Govinda Krishna Vitthale, Jai Gopal Krishna Vitthale, Rang Rang Vitthale, Jai Pandurang Vitthale, Ranga Ranga Vitthale, Jai Pandurang Vitthale, Govinda Krishna Vitthale, Jai Gopal Krishna Vitthale, Rang Rang Vitthale, Jai Pandurang Vitthale, Ranga Ranga Vitthale, Jai Pandurang Vitthale, Rang Rang Vitthale, Jai Pandurang Vitthale. So, remembering Krishna, remembering consciousness, remembering our source, remembering presence, remembering who we really are and what we are really here for. And then asking ourselves the question, What are we asking for from the universe? Are we asking the universe which takes us in the direction that we are here for? Or are we just um, picking pebbles on the beach while the ocean of treasures lies before us unexplored and unexperienced? That is the question. So while all this meditation, consciousness, yoga, spirituality, devotion, prayers, what is the true purpose of all this? What is the real, what are we, what do we really want out of it? And what are we asking for? And what can we really get out of it? So it's like most of us, many of us, maybe not people who have been uh, spending time on open door, maybe not many of you in that, but most people out there in the world, why do they want to meditate? Why do they want to do yoga? Why do they want to do prayer? Why do they want to, what are they asking for? So most of them are asking for, oh, I want to be stress free. I want to have good relationships. I want to have wealth and health. And well, while there's nothing wrong with that, nothing wrong with wanting all of that and going for all of that, compared to the ocean of treasures that awaits, compared to what we really, really yearn for, what we really, really want, it is like asking for stones, pebbles, rocks, meaningless, nothing compared to what is available. So you all know the story of Mahabharat, when the battle is about to be fought and each side is gathering its forces, trying to find what is our best, what can we get on our side. And when it comes to Krishna, so see, the Mahabharata and all of these stories are all symbolic. Symbolic. Whether they literally happened or not, I don't know. Maybe it did. And what is important is the message. Even if it did happen, what is the lesson? What is the message? What is the underlying message? Just like the message. Oh, I wanted to start that audio. So, what is the message? Is the sound okay, or too loud, or the music is okay? Yeah. So, what is the message? So, when it comes to Krishna, and Krishna says, as far as this battle goes, you can either have me or you can have my entire army. All my wealth, all my resources, all my entire army is yours. On one side, and on the other side, it's me. And that too, not just me, unarmed. Not only unarmed, I will not pick up any arms. Not only I will not pick up any arms, I will not even fight. And it's up to you what you want to choose. And Duryodhana, of course, in his Vinash Kale, Vinash Kalam Viprit Buddhi, he chooses the army and the wealth and the resources and the weapons and the entire armament and all the, all of that. And Arjun, in his wisdom, says, if I have you on my side, how can I ever be defeated? There is no such thing as defeat when Krishna is on your side. So he, of course, chose Krishna. And this is, Krishna represents, whether it literally happened or not so important. What do we learn from this? What is the message of this story? Just like all the Bollywood songs that I sing, who sang it, what are the lyrics, which actor, which director, which music, all that, okay, it's not so important. What is the message? What is the message is important. So similarly in this story, on one side, you have all these things that we normally ask for: health, wealth, relationships, stress-free, a big house or a new car or this and that and the other. And that is why we want to meditate. Why do we want to meditate? Why do we want to learn about consciousness? Why do we want to know who I am really? Why do we want to know our true self? Oh, well, because that will bring more success to me. And this is a Duryodhana approach to spirituality. So the reasons why people get into spirituality or why they meditate, a lot of them is because of, they want to be stress-free, they want success, they want health, they want wealth, etc., etc. And that is actually like and that is like the Duryodhana approach to spirituality. What I want to get the resources, I want to get the army. What you are losing, what you're missing, that is the whole point of getting into this, is to know yourself, is to understand who you are, to understand why you are here on this planet. What is your true purpose in life? What do you really want to do? What do you really want to experience? Which is all the qualities of who you really are. It's like a princess whose father, of course, is the king of the land. And the princess goes to the father and says, Father, can I have 1 rupee, please, or 5 rupees? What would the king say? The king would say, you are a princess. I can give you the most beautiful gardens. I can give you the most beautiful treasures. I can give you the most wonderful experiences. And all you're asking for is 5 rupees. So this is sometimes our situation. What is really available in this knowledge is this whole treasure, the ocean of treasures, जो मैं असल में हूँ, उसको जानना, उसको पहचानना, उसको लेकर जीना, उसे समझना, उसे अनुभव करना। और ये जो धन अवेलेबल है, उसे भूलकर हम इधर उधर छोटे मोटे पत्थर मांग लेते हैं। There's one Gujarati stavan on this. We are asking for everything that you left behind. You, divine, who doesn't care for the palaces, who didn't care for the wealth, talking about the life of Lord Mahavir or Buddha or so many of the saints. We ask for that stuff. We just waste our time, our energy, our breath, our moments on this planet looking for that. So I've been reading since yesterday means I have been reading means I've finished it already, of course, the book. You know, when I get a book that I get into, मैं उसको पूरा पी लेता हूँ एक घूंट में, डर 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 डर। तो ये जो किताब न्यूज़ में थी, एक दो हफ्ते से न्यूज़ में है. So all of you may have heard of Raymond, of course, Raymond Fabrics. Raymond किसको नहीं पता इंडिया में. So Raymond के जो one of the major the second generation of Raymond family that took Raymond forward and built Raymond, and was a very, very wonderful, colorful personality, Vijaypat Singhania. I don't know if you all have heard his adventures and misadventures, especially his latest one, or recent one rather, in 5-6 years ago, I think. So he gave away his entire share of the Raymond enterprise to his younger son Gautam Singhania as a gift. And with the understanding that, of course, his son would take care of him and his wife and all his needs and whatever was there in his older age. He was already, I guess at that point, he was maybe in his late 70s, and he gave it all away. And very promptly, the son turned around and forced him to resign from the company, give up his position, give up his house, give up his entire stake in the company, and completely removed him from the entire family business and the family fortune. And he was literally on his own at age 78. And so he wrote an autobiography called The Incomplete Life. If you remember the Raymond tagline, Raymond ki tagline thi The Complete Man. So in kind of a reference to that tagline, उन्होंने अपनी खुद की आत्मकथा लिखी, The Incomplete Life. So it's a very wonderful story of his life. And of course, this, he admits, it was his biggest blunder that he could ever make, was to give away his wealth to his son. And so, of course, that's one of the lessons he wants all future generations to know, to not be blinded by love of your children and make that mistake of relinquishing your wealth in their favor while you are still alive. So do not make that mistake. Whatever age you are at and whatever stage you are at in life, please remember this lesson from this extremely successful, extremely powerful, extremely wealthy, very world traveled, well experienced person, if they could make such a blunder, think about what we might do. So that is one lesson. That is one lesson. Um, you may share your knowledge, you may share your love, you may share your truth, you may share your experiences, but do not give away your wealth while you're alive. um, on the assumption that you will be taken care of. And he is literally, living in a rental apartment, whereas he was the owner of JK House, which was this huge, huge property in South Bombay, which, by the way, now Gautam Singhania is converting into a skyscraper, which is 10 stories taller than Ambani's Antilia building, Antilia or whatever that is. Anyway, but so one of the so a very, very wonderful person. I mean, he is a human. All his mistakes, all his follies, all his weaknesses, and so many aspects to being human are all in this book. So go ahead and read it. Very adventurous, into everything. He any subject that he found, he would just devour it and become an expert in that in a few days, and then enjoy that, and then move on to whatever else was there. He was into flying. He set some significant world records in flying. He flew a microlight aircraft, which has a very small range. It's a single seater, one person, very flimsy kind of an aircraft if you go by commercial aircraft, and flew it all the way from London to Delhi. So set that world record, and then set another world record of taking a hot air balloon to the highest height that anyone has ever taken a hot air balloon. So he took that hot air balloon to 70,000 feet into the air. A hot air balloon, can you imagine? At 70,000 feet, the temperature outside is 52 degrees Celsius minus 52 degrees centigrade. And अपने कहाँ गए? संजय शायद लॉग ऑफ हो गए. वो कारगिल में है, और वो टोपी और वगैरह पहन के इंडोर्स भी वैसा पहन के बैठे हुए थे अभी. But can you imagine? So 52 degrees minus. Of course, he's inside a capsule and whatever. But so he set that world record. I don't know if it has ever been broken since then, but he set that record at that time, 70,000 feet. But one of the key messages is about love. His learning is that I wish I had known how to show love. And he says, perhaps this is why my own son has done what he has done, because maybe I never learned how to show love. So this is, and what is love? Love is just another name for consciousness. Love is another name for divine. Love is another name for Krishna. Love is another name for Jesus. Love is another name for who you really are. And this open door is nothing else but reaching that place, reaching that aspect of you that you are, and learning this only lesson in life which is worth learning, which all the sages are telling us. which all the books are telling us. And now this 82-year-old man is telling us that he became a commercial pilot. He's flown hours, thousands of hours of commercial flying, traveled the world, built this business, made thousands of crores of rupees. And yet the only regret he has, I didn't learn how to show love. And it took him this entire journey of 82 years to realize that. And he is, estranged from his older son because he thought that his younger son was the more appropriate entrepreneur to take the business forward. So he handed over everything to the younger son. In the process, estranged his older son, and the younger son, of course, betrayed him. And so here he is, all by himself now, in this small flat in Malabar Hill, not far from where Jennifer G lives. Vijay Pat Singhania, alone in his little flat. Isn't that love for younger son? Yeah, but it was not out of love. It was out of a business decision that he handed over the keys to the younger son. It was a business choice. He said, I need to transition out. Now who gets it? It should be the younger son because he's more entrepreneurial. And in fact, it's turned out to be right in that sense, because since Gautam Singhania took over, the company has really done phenomenally well business-wise. So he was right in his business judgment that the younger son was the more appropriate. So it was not out of love. And in a sense it was. So I'm not sure who this Galaxy M32 5G is. Who is it?
Sonal.
Oh, it is Sonal. Okay. Okay. I probably should have guessed from the question. But never mind. That's true. In a way, it is out of love. It is out of a kind of there are shades and shades of love. The love that comes from selflessness, from truth, from consciousness, of total acceptance of life and of everything. Yeah, it's Putra Prem, yeah, in a way, which also blinded Dhritarashtra, I guess, right? Duryodhan's, yeah. So the same thing, Vinash Kale Viprit Buddhi. So it's a form of love, but what he's referring to is a deep love, a deeper love, an acceptance of who people are the way they are. Not out of indulgence, not out of spoiling the child, but just out of freedom, out of accepting the child for who they are. The kind of love that ends up spending time with the children, which he never did. He was too busy with his business and his adventures. And then sometimes it's a compensatory love. Oh, I never did all this for you, which I should have. And at somewhere at the back of your mind, there's a regret. So you overindulge and allow them to spend whatever they want and do whatever they want. That's not love. It's an excuse for love. It's a upper branch kehte hai. It's a twisted, it's a misdirected, misguided kind of love. So, yeah, and it's all so much conditioning coming from this conservative Marwadi family where the patriarch is just somebody you fear you and not approach. His father was like that. His mother died when he was very young, I think less than 5 years old, and he had a stepmother who was extremely mean and abusive physically. So he never really experienced love himself as a child and therefore didn't learn how to show it. His father never was an example of how to show love. His mother was an example of how to show hate. And so he grew up not knowing how to do that, and here he is. But what does consciousness provide? What does this understanding of who I am give you? It allows you to erase your past. It allows you to erase whatever trauma you had in your childhood. Whether you had the most beautiful childhood or you had the most traumatic childhood, it's still past. You can take the most beautiful childhood and still become a very mean, selfish adult. And you can take a very abusive childhood and become a most compassionate parent or person. I'm forgetting the name of that lady who started all these orphanages, an illiterate lady from Maharashtra.
Sindhutai.
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 Right, Sindhutai. You know the story of Sindhutai. I don't know if everyone knows, but from what I remember, it wasn't even as nice as that. It was worse. She was physically abused by her husband, physically abused, not given food, and beaten, and had an extremely traumatic time in that house, and was actually driven out of her house by the husband and thrown out and onto the streets with nothing and just her baby. And then that's when she said, if somehow the universe divine will take care of this baby, and she found the strength to take care of it. And she said she said that there must be others like my baby who also need this care, just like I did, or like my baby did. And then she started so many institutions and so many platforms that has taken care of children from since many, many years. And now many of them have grown up and become lawyers and doctors and engineers and all that, and she's at that stage in her life. My point was, you can have any kind of childhood or any kind of past, but if you encounter yourself, who you really are, if you discover who you are, what your true nature is, then all of that can be erased, can be healed, can be leveraged to make you into somebody who is experiencing and living that life, living the life of what we are here for really, which is to love. So someone sent me that I think Chitra, I don't know if she's on right now. Chitra ji, you are there. You sent me that Rumi image which I pointed everyone out to. I forget what it says exactly, but let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so here's that image. If you guys look it up on Open Door, um, I asked why I received only this, and a voice replied, only this will lead you to that. And the this that we have received, what is the this that we have received? Is this life, this body, this consciousness, and these set of circumstances, this particular set of skills, this particular body, and this particular mind, and this particular friends, and this particular family, and this particular house, and this particular people. So this is what it is. So, and when you ask why I received only this, then a voice replied, only this will lead you to that. So you have received this for only the one single purpose, that it leads you to that. Everything that is in your life, every person, every moment, every circumstance, is the purpose of that is only to lead you to that, to reflect back on you, who you are, who you really are, to recognize that in this. Instead, we get involved with changing this, or more of this, or different of this, or less of this. We get involved in the this, and we stay in the loop. More money, more wealth, more people, or less people, or whatever. Something about this. Whereas the purpose of this was never that. The purpose of this was to take you to that. So we constantly and continuously choose the army and the weapons over Krishna. So our Insta meditation, if you remember, Insta meditation that we learned a few weeks ago, वो प्रश्न उसमें ये था, इसमें वो कैसे शामिल किया जाए? How do I bring that to this? And after reading this particular quote from Rumi, what we can also practice along with this. So I think maybe there are two kinds of Insta meditations now. So there are two kinds of questions. The first question is, not just how do I bring that to this. The question is, how do I see that in this? How do I see that in this? Because this does not look like that to me. मेरी आंखों से, कानों से मुझे ऐसा नहीं लग रहा है कि ये डिवाइन है, कि ये मेरा जो रिफ्लेक्शन है वो है. I don't see that. In my thoughts I don't see it. In my feelings I don't see that. I go around life saying that I don't see divine, I don't hear divine, I don't feel divine, I don't experience divine, because this is only a computer, this is a person, this is a car, this is a vase, this is a room, this is a anger, this is truth, this is beauty. All I see is all these objects, all these million things, but I don't see that. I don't see God, I don't see divine. So how to see that in this? If the purpose of this is to lead you to that, then the how it will lead me to that is to first to see that this is not just this, but it is that. It's like if you're looking at a screen and on a TV screen and a movie is going on. So though you are so caught up in the movie and the character and the hero and the heroine and whatever, that you cannot see the screen. You don't see the screen at all. The screen is not in your awareness. You're completely caught up in the movie. Whereas all there is, what is there in this movie? What is the movie made of? The movie and the images are nothing but moving images, which are nothing but pixels, which are nothing but the screen animating itself in different ways and showing you something. But it's all screen. It is the activity of the screen that you are seeing. What you're seeing is the activity of the screen. And we get so distracted by the activity of the screen that we forget that it is actually just the screen and its activity. So seeing how to see that in this. So how to see that in this is nothing but asking yourself in this, what is the background, the container, the experiencer of this? ये सब किसे हो रहा है? जो भी हो रहा है वो किसे हो रहा है? वो क्या है जिसे ये सब हो रहा है? वो क्या है जिसे ये सब सुनाई दे रहा है? वो क्या है जिसे ये दिखाई दे रहा है? वो क्या है जिसे ये अनुभव हो रहा है? And when you ask that, you come face to face with that. And you see through this. Not that this is not there. This is there. But you see through that and see that, अरे ये जो सब हो रहा है वो सब वो ही है, वो मैं ही हूं. ये सब मेरी परछाइयां है, मेरा रिफ्लेक्शन है, मेरे प्रतिबिंब है. जो मैं है वो जो चेतना हूं. I, that consciousness, all that I see is nothing but a reflection, an activity of I. So how to see that in this? That is Insta meditation number 2. How to see that in this. So in the midst of, so like I was saying, I've said it before, it is easy to feel that in the presence of a sunset or in the presence of a beautiful scene or a beautiful breath, whatever. But how to see that in this, no matter what this is, regardless of what this is, challenging or so far from what our images of that is, and yet seeing through it, no matter how engaging the movie is, yet seeing that it is all happening as activity of only the screen. The screen is all there is. And once you see that, oh, that's, there you are again, there you are again, there you are again. Then that second Insta meditation, when you see that, then you ask yourself, what are the qualities of that? The qualities are acceptance, the qualities are love, the qualities are compassion, the qualities are okayness. And so that second question comes, how to bring that to this? How do I bring that to this? So jo bhi, now I'm giving you multiple choice of Insta meditation. जो भी आपको सूट होता है. The ultra Insta. Who was that? Somebody called it the ultra Insta meditation. हाँ, पुरुषोत्तम जी. Ultra Insta meditation, correct. So there's Insta meditation and ultra meditation, or ultra Insta meditation. How to see that in this? How to see that in this? How to see that in this?
क्योंकि ये आगे की स्टेप लग रही है उसके भी.
हाँ, उससे आगे लग रही है. Yeah.
Bringing that will take some time. This is
yeah.
seeing is direct.
आगे की स्टेप लग रही है. Yeah. And in some ways, I don't know. I don't know which one is easier. Whatever you find easier, do it. whatever you find easier. Sometimes it may be easier to just bring those qualities to this, regardless of what this is. And sometimes it may be easier to see this, to see this, um, to see this in that. Decisions make our destiny. Yesterday's decisions make our today. Maybe. Ye ja Sonal, these are assumptions. These are not or an experience. These are assumptions. These are constructs. These are mental concept. Cause and effect itself is an unknown. Is simply a mind construct. वो लगता है हमें, but what is really cause and effect? If you really analyze cause and effect.
Just for a discussion, sir. Can I?
Yeah.
ये जो टॉपिक सिंघानिया का लिया,
हाँ,
ये इनका डिसीजन था कि he will give all to Gautam Singhania. अब there are two ways to look at it. That okay, he thought that he will take care.
Yeah.
So it was a decision, and that was his destiny. The decision went wrong. If the decision would have been right, he would have been done. He would be happy. If the decision has gone wrong, so it is destiny.
Yeah. See, let us take the non-dual perspective or the highest perspective. Think of it from the perspective of consciousness. From the perspective of consciousness, there is no right and wrong. It's just what it is. So even though now, in the ordinary sense, we are saying maybe this was a wrong decision, I don't know. Maybe this was the lesson he needed to learn. Maybe this was the exact experience that taught him much more than if he had simply stayed in a luxurious house and done everything and died an unknown, relatively unknown, and not experienced any of this. What brought him to this realization, oh my God, I've never learned how to show love, was this jhatka, whether it was a pleasant one or not. So how to see that in this is applicable even in this so-called mistake. In the so-called mistake, if you are able to see that maybe this is what it took for me to learn love. If I had remained in this luxurious palace all my life, my son would have taken care of me. I would have died in some hospital somewhere with a bunch of tubes connected, and the world would have... I would have never read this book about Singhania if he had just been an entrepreneur, went to this, never made this mistake, never came into this conflict, this what do they call it? The dark night of the soul. I don't know if you've heard this term, the dark night of the soul, walking through this valley of darkness is what shapes you, is what makes you. So this cause and effect thing, whether this was right. So from one perspective, yes, it was the wrong decision and it may have been better. But that's at a relative level. From an absolute level, it's just what it is. It's just what it is. Sitting alone in this apartment in Malabar Hill, maybe he has and will experience life much, much more deeper, with much, much more clarity than he would have ever gotten. So it's not... So all what we say is at the relative level. From an absolute level, there's just moments. There is no cause, there is no effect. It's just moment after moment after moment after moment. And in each moment, we have the opportunity to see that in this. In this moment, see that. In this moment, see that. In this moment, see that. And this connection of cause and effect and all this is just a construct. It's a time... it's part of this relative truth. It's not part of absolute truth. At an absolute level, there is no cause. Because what is the cause? Is causeless. The universe, because the cause, every cause, you have to ask what is the cause of that. Let's say you had an accident at a traffic light because you were rushing through. Well, the cause was somebody came in the way. What is the cause of that? Well, I went through the red light. What is the cause of that? I left, I had to get somewhere and I was late. What is the cause of that? I slept late. What is the cause of that? You can keep going back and back and back. So what is the real cause? So even though it looks like cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect, it's not true at an absolute level. The universe is actually causeless. As causeless as love itself. What is the cause of love? We cannot find a cause. It's just there. So my invitation to all of you is to lift yourself as much as you can above this relative world that we live in, and lift yourself to the absolute, and bring the understanding of that absolute and engage in the relative world only from the perspective of the absolute and not from here and even below. So that's the opportunity, and that's the Krishna. Choose Krishna over his army. Choose Krishna over his kingdom. Wonderful. Sharad, you were saying something?
I'm just writing some whatever coming. I'm just writing.
He's well about market. Based on his age, he can only write dark side of his life. No, he wrote about everything. The book is about all of it. It's about his wealth, his building the empire, and it's a not very big book, but he talks about all the sides of his life, all his romances, his relationships outside of his marriage. He's put it all out there. And what is his motivation? I don't know. Make more wealth for his elder son? Maybe. It's not only him, most elders do the same thing, but yeah, his advice is don't do it. And at a relative level, I agree with that it's not a very wise choice. Great. Wonderful. Live with Krishna consciousness, whatever name you want to give, be with that. Yes, Purushottamji.
Let's do it out of love.
If Sanjivji,
One sec, Sonal.
I would say that was the best decision he has ever made. Because उस डिसीजन की वजह से उसको जिंदगी में जो नहीं मिला था उनको वो मिल सका. That was enlightening for him.
That's true. Yeah, I think maybe I will write to him on this thought, along this line, that here you are sitting here at 82 regretting your decision and cursing yourself for that day when he signed that paper. Even in his book, he's full of regret for having, he signed that letter, gift letter, 4-line thing, giving everything away, and then he had 4 days to take it back. That's the legal requirement with the Securities and Exchange Commission, that you gift shares, you have 4 days to retract when you gift something.
Actually, he should thank.
And those 4 days he regrets that, why didn't I take it back in those 4 days? He still regret. Even in his book, he's full of regret. And yeah, maybe this is something, this perspective that we have here, we can offer to him, and maybe free him from this suffering that he is going through. So yeah, I will write an email. I don't know if he'll ever reach him, but I will. Jennifer ji lives close to you, hand delivery.
I
really wanted to go and have tea with
Even
him,
Sanjivji,
actually.
even when people feel so miserable when somebody dies, but if you take it at the relative level, yes, it is very sad. But there is so much more into it that changes people for so much better that people forget about that.
Right, right. It's this is also something, and I remember we did a whole thing on no regrets. I don't know, a few weeks ago or something. We talked about there's nothing to regret. Everything
Okay,
is perfect the way it
Okay,
is.
exactly.
it's
Sonal,
okay.
what you were saying?
In all cases, I feel parents are doing all this out of love only for the
Yeah, but
children. Now
yes.
there are five children. Now in this case, it was two. There are five children.
No,
So
there is a daughter also, but okay, huh? What?
when we see that parents do love one person much more than the other, so it is love only which goes ahead. Now, so that's where I'm confused.
Yeah, but
When you say where is the love, where is the cause of love? So it is out of love only people give away their wealth. It is out of love only they take decisions. It's only love.
okay. Yeah, okay.
So
Yeah,
that
but there
love
are,
makes you
see, remember,
later on regretting is a different story.
no, no, that's okay. I agree with you. But remember, we talked about hate. Hate is also a form of love. But it's a
But
very
this is
twisted.
universal. This
Hold on.
is
Listen,
true.
listen, listen, listen. Hate is an extremely twisted form of love. So on one extreme of the hate and love spectrum is hate, and on the other extreme is unconditional love. And there are all kinds and shades of love in between. A selfish love, a jealous love, uh, an indulgent love, a misplaced love, a misguided love. So, somewhere in that spectrum, yeah, it is love, but we want to go towards absolute love, which is absolute acceptance. And and yeah, I mean, you may make decisions from anything, and anything happens anyway. So what? What the bottom line is, are you operating out of that space of absolute love, or if love that is based on fear, a love that is based on regret? Like, I may buy chocolates for my child without even thinking about it, because I know I'm not spending enough time with him or her, and now to make up for that, I give chocolates, and you can call that love. I mean, I love my child, so I'm giving chocolates, but it's a twisted kind of love. It's an incomplete love. And that's why he's called the book An Incomplete Life. So it's not true love. It's not the true love coming from self. It's not divine love. It's not absolute love. It's not unconditional love. It's a preference. It's the partiality. I prefer this son over that son. These are all forms of love. But these are love at a relative level. We are talking about love at an absolute level. And even absolute level love, anything can happen. So what? But at least you experienced absolute love. At least you lived absolute love. And that's what we are here for, to go in that direction as much as we can, as fast as we can. Right? Okay, wonderful. So to be continued, maybe, for Sonal. We will continue. But anyway, I
For
have.
all,
Sorry?
because definition of love is still difficult to understand.
Definition of love is difficult to understand. Yes. We don't have to define it. Experience it, live it, express it is more important than defining it or analyzing it. And you are living it. The care you are taking for your mom is just an expression of love. So, and that's more important. Great. What was I going to say? Okay, I think.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you all. Life is actually so simple. Kusum Ben. Kusum has my mother's name, so I can never say her name without saying Ben, even though she's much younger than I am. I just cannot say the word Kusum by itself because it's my mother's name. So, and I'm used to saying, sometimes I've referred to her as Kusumben. So, Kusumben Sukosho, life is so simple. You are absolutely right. Life is very simple. Yep. Uh, there's one ghazal. Gosh, I'm not remembering the exact words, but it is something like. Um, remind me next time. It is something about the distance from the house, from the home. The distance from the home to the graveyard is very small. The distance from the home to the graveyard is very small, but it takes a lifetime to get there. Urdu शायरी है. In Urdu it sounds even better. Um, I'll find it for next time. But this was the message of that sher. So life is very simple. You're right, Kusumben. But getting there, learning, getting there is the sadhana. Getting to that simplicity that life is the sadhana. But at least we know now what it is. At least we see it. You remember the Zen painting? At least we see the ox. One day we will ride the ox into the marketplace. Great. Thank you.
Sanjeev,
Yes, Sandhya Ben. Kem cho?
all Kusumbens will always say, "You can do it."
You can do it. Yes. My mom was always
Always saying that.
was
Always to everybody, not just to us.
yes, to
Even
everybody.
people, even people who came and told her, "Nathi, pellu nathi," she said, "Doesn't matter. You can still do it."
You can still do it. And she showed it by example, not just as advice.
100%. Yes, not
Yeah.
not just pulling them off. And she went out of her way to help so many people.
Right. So Kusumben, you have a very high ideal to live up to, Kusum, with your name. Wonderful. Thank you. I bow down to the divine that is sitting where you are. Love you all. Thank you.